Today, my good friend Hans forwarded me something in my email that once again proved to me that I live in the epicenter of fucktardedness. Now, I'll leave the link in the description box. You can click on it and start reading while I'm talking, but I'll give you some backstory. I live in Congressional District 5, which it has El Paso County and Teller County and Chaffee County, but pretty much only El Paso County counts because it has Colorado Springs, which is the population center, much the way that Chicago controls the politics of Illinois. Now, unlike Chicago, Colorado Springs leans completely towards the right, towards the conservative side, because we have things like Focus on the Family, Compassion International, Life Megachurch, a couple other megachurches like Church for All Nations that have, national broadcasts. And we even have Ted Haggard still preaching out of a barn somewhere. It's true. So, the politics of Congressional District 5 have shifted so far to the conservative side that the Democratic Party decided that this year, when Doug Lamborn, the congressman for Congressional District 5, is up for re-election, they don't want to field a candidate for their party because they don't want to be beaten by R plus 16. That's the margin that used to be pretty much standard for Congressional District 5 before the 2010 redistricting, which, since there were Republicans controlling that redistricting, I'm pretty sure they used their gerrymandering magic to only make things better for them. Just saying. So, no Democratic Party candidate, but on the liberal side, we do at least have Misha Lusov, my good friend. He is running for the Green Party, and at least there's somebody espousing the values that would be liberal. But pretty much every other candidate that is running against Doug Lamborn, which seems to me to be quite the futile effort, they lean towards the conservative side. Now, we've got, running as an independent, the guy who's campaigned the hardest out of all of the alternative candidates, Dave Anderson. And a lot of the Democrats who would vote for a candidate from the Democratic Party, if they had put one forward, they are secretly backing him, even though he's not running with a D next to his name. Not just because he doesn't really have democratic values. He's more of a centrist, but because running with a D next to your name is a death sentence to your campaign in this district. So he's running as an independent. He's got a bunch of Democrats that are going to support him if they don't vote for Misha Lusov. On that far shifted side of this spectrum, we've also got Jim Pirtle from the Libertarian Party, who even though the Libertarian Party was founded near here in Colorado, he's not doing too well in polls. We've got George Cantrell, who I don't take very seriously because he's asking people to write his name in because he didn't go around with petitions to get himself on the ballot like Dave Anderson did. Dave Anderson worked very hard to get exposure and get people to sign those petitions to get him on the ballot. So don't take Mr. Cantrell very seriously. But here in Congressional District 5, we have enough room on the conservative end of the spectrum to take the candidate, Doug Lamborn, who on his own website says that he's the most conservative candidate in Congress. He brags about this, like all the different things that people say about him, he puts on his website. He brags about that stuff. We've got room on the other end of the spectrum for people to criticize him for not being conservative enough. This brings me to the link that I was given, a link in the description box, This is from Ken Harville. It's KenHarville2012.com. He's running for the American Constitution Party, and I give his chances in this election to gather at least a few votes, as much as I give to Misha Lusov from the Green Party. So his party is at least a minor party that he's representing. But he's not just representing the minor party. This guy's running for Jesus. Like, read his website. If you don't vote for him, you are pretty much voting against Jesus. There's all sorts of things. Like, he says that he wants a revolution, and he wants God to be included in it. He needs a new Christian media. That's what we all need, because Christians aren't being represented enough. Even though he comes from a congressional district where he's running that is R+16. He doesn't think things are Christian enough. He thinks that the Muslim Brotherhood needs to be stopped here, and we need to get rid of the threat of Sharia law. It gets crazier. He starts talking about weird politics, like in Burma. Some political officer told him that he had some money to influence a nation of 70 million. He only had $2,500. I have no idea why that would be part of the platform for a congressional candidate from Colorado. No idea. But it's on his website, and if you keep on scrolling down, he talks about the death panels in Obamacare that have completely been pwned out of the water. They don't exist. There's no such thing as death panels. He says we've been hit spiritually, in personal politics, overseas, and $. I don't see how any national party, even the minor ones, would allow this guy to have this poorly written website, which just goes on and on. It's like one big long blog post that you get to for the default for his website, and it just gets crazier and crazier and crazier. Link in the description box, people. This is where I live.